Good morning. Well, here we are back to Eureka Math for the balance of the year. Hopefully everything went well for you as you learned how to tell time and how to count money. And now we are going to be starting on a little bit of geometry and some fractions. So on lesson 1, I'm going to remind you, as always, when you do Eureka Math, you need to watch the video first. I believe it is Mrs. Chen who's going to be explaining lesson 1. And that would be an important thing before we go any further today. You need to do that. So once you've watched that video, then you're coming back to me. And I am going to tell you of a couple of things that you are going to need to have. Actually, before you watch the video, there's a couple of things that I need to tell you that you need to have. It would be, well, you needed to have colored pencils for the last lessons that we did, and colored pencils will be used in some of the lessons that we're going to be doing for this module. So some colored pencils would be a good plan. You will need to have a ruler of some sort. It doesn't just needs to be a straight edge. It doesn't matter whether it's metric or standard. So you will need to have a ruler. It would be if you would like to come in and get some of this dot paper, we have it available to you. You will need some dot paper for today's lesson. You can print that off of the internet. This one just is called Lines and Dots Car Game. It's just small little sections of dots that will help you with your geometry today. And if you need, you're welcome to come in. I would be happy to supply you with that paper. And I'm just making sure that I'm covering everything that you're going to need for this lesson today. And let's see. This is some vocabulary that is not included in the lesson. That Mrs. Chin does not go over this very well, so I would like to go over a couple of geometry words that you really need to know for this lesson. And again, if you would like to have a copy of these vocabulary words, I would be more than happy to supply those for you if you would like to have them. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to know is what an endpoint is. Okay, so an endpoint, I'm going to just highlight that word. An endpoint is a point at either end of a line segment, and it looks just like a little period or a little dot. Okay, so an endpoint is a point at either end of a line segment. Well, you might be saying, well, what's a line segment? Well, a line segment, I'm going to highlight that. A line segment is part of a straight line. And by the way, the line has to be straight. It cannot have any curves to be a line segment. If it has a curve, it is called a curve and not a line segment. So a line segment is part of a straight line with two endpoints, one endpoint and two endpoints. This is called a line segment. You're also going to need to know about angles. Okay, an angle is formed where two line segments meet. So I'm going to get out my orange colored pencil, and I'm going to show you where those angles are. Here's an endpoint, and an endpoint, and an endpoint. So an angle is formed where two line segments, here's line segment 1, line segment 2, where those 2 points meet, which by the way is called a vertex. It's not on this, but it is called a vertex. That is an angle. Okay, here we have another angle where these 2 line segments meet. This is a straight angle, and we have a line segment here and a line segment here. Wow, that line segment dot did not show up very good right there. Okay, and then we also have angles that are formed when we have 2 line segments coming together. The outside of that is also an angle called a reflex angle, but you don't really need to know that. What I need you to know is where 2 line segments come together, you form an angle. So an angle is formed when 2 line segments meet, and they meet at a vertex, which is not a really important thing that you need to know. But let's take a look at what a polygon is. A polygon is a closed plane figure. A plane figure just means that it's flat or two-dimensional. So I'm going to put a little 2D up here. It's flat and does not take up space. So a polygon is a closed plane figure made by line segments. So if we look up here at this polygon, we see that we have line segment DC, that's making this line. We have line segment CB, it's made from this endpoint and this endpoint. And by the way, the letter is naming the endpoint. So this line segment is made from endpoint B and A, and this line segment is made from endpoint A and D. So when we're talking about a line, we're talking about the straight line between two endpoints. The straight line between two endpoints, the straight line between two endpoints, and the straight line between two endpoints. In order to be a polygon, it has to be closed. It can have no openings anywhere, okay? So you'll be learning a little bit more about that as we go through, and after you watch Mrs. Chin, she's going to be talking about closed plane figures which are flat, which make polygons. I don't know that she uses the word polygon, but that would be the correct terminology for this geometric shape. Poly means many or more than one, and gon means a shape. So a polygon is a many-sided figure. This one happens to have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and we'll get into that a little bit more in further lessons. So as I said, I'm going to put this up like this so that you, oh my gosh, that is not very clear. There we go. There's the first side of the geometry words to know. If you want to come in, I'm so sorry that this was not included in the lesson, but I felt like it was important that you have it. You're welcome to snap a picture of that if you would like, and here is what is on the back of that. That's not going to be a part of your lesson. There were several things that were not included in this lesson that I thought were important that I am sharing with you. So after you watch the video, hopefully you have done that, then we're going to come back to the application problem in just a few minutes. Let me talk about, I don't want you to do the application problem just yet because I think you need to have a little bit more experience before you do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at what you are going to be doing today. So on the problem set, you're going to identify the number of sides. So we're looking for sides. That would be the line segments, and you're also looking for the angles of each shape. You are going to, they want you to circle the angle as you count if needed, and we are going to be circling the angles. I would also like you to do something else when you're doing your counting. I'd like you to use orange for the angles, and I would like you to use green for the lines or the line, or the, excuse me, for the sides. The sides would be the line segments. All right, so I'm going to go over this first one with you just to give you an idea of how you can keep track of your counting, because some of these angles down towards the bottom get to be a little bit interesting. So if I was going to count the sides on this triangle or this three-sided polygon, I would count 1, 2, 3. If you'll make a little tick mark as you count around so that you can keep track of your sides, and I always put a little arrow above the side that I counted first so I don't get lost. Side 1, side 2, side 3. I get 3 sides. Now I need to count the angles. Remember, an angle is formed where 2 sides come together. So here we go, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. And I also want to show which angle I started counting on. So if I'm counting the sides, tick mark 1, tick mark 2, tick mark 3. The arrow shows me where I started counting. Counting the angles, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3. So your job will be to go through and finish that page counting all the sides and the angles. Please use the colored pencils. They will help you keep track of your sides and your angles. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next page that you're going to be doing. This time you're going to be doing a little, it's like a little quiz, some little riddles that you need to solve using these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 polygons. These are all polygons, because they have multiple sides, all of the edges are straight and there are no curves. So your first job is going to be on this part. You're going to study these shapes below and then answer the questions. Well, in studying these shapes, you need to find out how many sides they have. That's why I'm using my green pencil and I'm counting. This has got 3 sides, and I'm going to circle my angles. Circling those angles, and I've got 3 angles. So I have 3 sides and 3 angles. I'm going to put 3 right here because it looks like they're having the same number of sides and angles. I'm going to do B with you as well. Actually, I think I'm going to come over and do D. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to start my counting right there. So I have 4 sides, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and I started my counting right there on that angle. So this one has 4 sides and 4 angles. All right, you're going to have to do B, C, E, and F. Be very careful that you get all of the sides and all of the angles. Then you're going to have to answer these questions about these polygons. Then we're coming down to question number 3. Ethan says that the two shapes below are 6-sided figures. In other words, they have 6 sides. They are 6-sided figures, but just different sizes. Explain why he is incorrect. Remember, in means not, so that would be not correct. So you're looking at these polygons. You are going to count the number of sides and the number, well, it looks like we're just looking at sides this time. Counting the number of sides and find out why Ethan is incorrect. I'm going to call this polygon A, and I'm going to call this polygon B. So think about what you have with polygon A and what you have with polygon B. All right, hang on just a second. Let me make sure that I am not missing things that are important here. And then after you get finished with that, then I would like you to come back. There's the exit ticket right there. Then I would like you to come back to the application problem after you have done all of this work. Okay, so after you've done those 2 pages, you're going to come back to the first page, and let's take a look at Terrence. Terrence is making shapes with 12 toothpicks. Okay, so toothpicks are like line segments because they're straight and they have endpoints. Using all, you have to use all of the toothpicks. You're going to create 3 different shapes that he could make. How many combinations can you find? So you're going to have to make 3 shapes, but you can't use more than 12 toothpicks. All right? So yeah, I'm going to let you kind of experiment with that and see what you come up with on your own. Please remember, when you get finished, you should not have used more than 12 toothpicks. And you need to use all, or you're making 3 different shapes. And with that, I am going to leave you at that, and let me see. Hang on just a second. Sorry, I just needed to check something for just a second. So now your job is going to be, after you've watched the video, you're going to complete these activities on this, and then you're going to come back and check with me, and we'll look and see how you did. I will have some other suggestions for you before you actually do the exit ticket today. The exit ticket is going to be very similar to this activity here, so it's going to be important that you understand what you did here so that you can be successful on the exit ticket. So with that, I'm going to tell you to pause the video, work the pages, and then I will get back to you. All right, pause the video. Are you back? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to actually start with the problem application just because I think it might be kind of fun trying to figure out how to use these 12 toothpicks to draw 3 different shapes, not using more than 12. So I'm going to start with an endpoint, an endpoint, and an endpoint, 3 endpoints, and I'm going to draw 3 line segments connecting those endpoints. I hope that you had a I hope you had a good experience with this. It just takes a little bit of practice to learn how to do geometry. It's a lot of fun because you get to do a lot of fun drawing. So now, how many toothpicks have I used so far? So far, I have used 1 toothpick, 2 toothpicks, and 3 toothpicks. So I've used 3 toothpicks so far. I can only use 12. So this time I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to connect those line segments. That will give me 4 toothpicks. Okay, so there's 1. And your shapes do not need to look exactly like mine. As long as they've got the right number of sides. Here we go. I'm going to connect those line segments because those line segments are showing me where my toothpicks begin and end. Let me count how many sides I have now. I'm always going to use my green pencil when I'm counting sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far I have used 3 toothpicks plus 4 toothpicks gives me 7 toothpicks. So at least I'm going to have to make a shape that's got 5 toothpicks this time. So I think I need to make 5 points so I can connect them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what happens when I connect those line segments. Here we go. So those would be like my toothpicks. Here we go. So there's 1 line segment. Hope I don't goof this up. 2 line segments. These are actually toothpicks. 3 line segments. 4 line segments. And this one, 2, 5 line segments. There we go. Interesting. That's a fun shape. I'm going to count those sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm adding 5 more toothpicks to give me a total of 12 toothpicks. There we go. Yours might not look exactly the same as mine, but if you have 3 figures, one of them having 3 sides, one of them having 4 sides, and one of them having 5 sides, you should give yourself a great big huge smiley face. And if you had trouble doing this, please grab yourself another piece of paper and try it again. I'm going to show you another one that I did that was the same assignment, but you can see that my shapes turned out very different. However, I still have 1, 2, 3. There's 3 sides. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 5 sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That one has 4 sides for a total of 12 toothpicks. So I'm going to put those side by side. Oops, I'm going to have to go up just a titch. You can see that my assignment, whether I did, regardless of how I did it, as long as I ended up with using the 12 toothpicks, I have a correct answer, even though both of my pages are very different. All right, I hope you had fun doing that because I know I had a great time doing it. All right, let's move on to the first page. This first one we did together, and now we are going to count how many sides we have on polygon B. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I always am going to show where I start my counting so I don't get lost. So I know I had 4 sides, and let's count our angles. I'm going to bring this down a little closer. Here we go, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm circling where those 2 line segments are coming together, and it looks like I have the same number of sides as I do angles. So far, 3 sides, 3 angles, 4 sides, 4 angles. Let's take a look at polygon C. Let's count the sides. Ready? And oops, you know what? I really should identify where I start that counting, because when I get down to these, oh my gosh, I better keep track. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, and I started counting here so I don't get lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm double checking my work. Now I'm going to check my, oops, yeah, orange pencil. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, look at that. It's also got 5 angles. Where those two those two line segments come together, I'm forming an angle. Ooh, this one looks tricky. This one looks tricky. Let's count the sides. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a little bit discombobulated here. I'm always showing where I'm starting that counting because when they get more complicated, I got to watch that counting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I know I've got 4 sides. Wow, that one had 4 sides too, but they sure look different. They have the same attributes, and that's what we are looking for. The attributes are the characteristics of each of these polygons. And I think I forgot to use that word, which I need to start using now. Let's go ahead and count the angle on this polygon. 1, there's an angle there, and an angle right there. And believe it or not, this right here is also an angle because I have 2 line segments that are coming together to form an angle. Whether it is a big wide angle like this one or a little small angle like that one. And again, I've got 4 sides. Now I don't know about you, but I'm starting to notice that polygons have the same number of sides as angles. I wonder if that's going to be true with the rest of these that we are going to do. Let's go ahead. Oh, here we go. I'm going to count my sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to double check that. Here I'm going to start counting one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 sides this time. And I'm wondering, will I come up with 6 angles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, I did come up with 6 angles. So 6 sides and 6 angles. That seems to be a running theme here with equal number of sides and angles. Wow, look at this. This one's interesting. Let's count those sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, don't miss that one. 6. Oh my gosh, these two both have, let me count that again. Can that be true? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it certainly is. 6 and 6. Let's count the angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute, right here. 6. I'm going to just double check that. Don't forget my angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got to look at where those line segments come together. And that is still holding very true. Alrighty, so now let's go down to this one. We have polygon G. That's kind of looking kind of interesting. I wonder how many sides this one has. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, it's got 8. Are you sure? Maybe better double check. Here we go. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it's got, so that means I better have 8 angles too. Let's count those angles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and oh my gosh, look at that. Boy, this is, maybe I don't even have to even think about it too hard. If I count the sides, I'm going to have the same number of angles. Better count them though. Oh, what in the heck is this? Let's count how many sides this one has. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Really, it has 12. I'm going to double check that. I don't know. Here I go. 1, that's where I started. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, it sure does. Does that mean I'm going to have 12 angles too? Let's count those angles. Here we go. This is going to be hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh dear. Oh, wait a minute. I left out that one. Boy, you got to make sure you get them all. I know that they're going to have equal number of sides and angles. It looks that way. I'm going to count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is why you need to have a starting point so you don't get lost in your, oh my gosh, counting. Look at this one. Oh no. Okay, it's okay. I can do this. Let's count it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we sure? I'm going to double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, so if I have 7 sides, I'm going to pretty sure that I got to find 7 angles. Angle 1. I'm going to put an arrow on that because that's where I started counting. Angle 1. Angle 2. Angle 3. Angle 4. Angle 5. Angle 6. Angle 7. Wow, this is kind of fun. I'm really having fun here. Whew, how'd you do on that? Now, if you were having trouble counting those sides and angles, especially on these that got a little bit more complicated, you might want to try that a second time. All right, let's go over to the next page because this one's got some interesting polygons for us to look at. Some very interesting polygons indeed, and we're going to have to figure all of this out. I hope before you tried to answer these questions that you went through and you figured out how many sides and how many angles each one of these polygons had, which is what I'm about to do right now. All right, so we knew that this one had 3 and this one had 4, but I've still got 4 polygons that I'm going to need to look at. So let's start counting sides on polygon B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that one's such a little one. 7, but it is there. I think I better double check that. Am I sure that it's got 7? I'm going to start counting right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that one's so tiny, but it does count as a line segment. There are 7. Does that mean I'm going to have 7 angles as well? Let's count them. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6. Oh my gosh, that one is so little. Angle 7, but it does have 7. So I'm going to mark this one as 7 sides and 7 angles. That'll help me as I go through. And I'm going to just double check that. I'm going to count that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I always want to know where I started counting. Otherwise, I might count them twice. Don't want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are you serious? I better count that again. Let me look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boy, you really have to watch. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to also have 7 angles. Angle 1, I'm going to show where I started counting. Started counting right there. Don't want to get mixed up. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6. Uh-oh, I missed one somewhere. Angle 1, angle 2. Uh-oh, it's right here. Boy, it's really easy to miss those angles. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7. Keeping track of where you're going makes a big difference too. So this polygon also has 7 sides and 7 angles. That one was easy. Whoa, this lightning bolt. Okay, just be calm. You can do this. Here we go. Ready, and 1. That's where I started. This is fun, and it does take a little bit of time. I'm going to get a little closer to that lightning bolt. See if I can't make that a little easier for you. So there's 1 side, 2 sides. Ooh, this one's really little. 3, 4. This one's little. 5, 6, 7. Oh, that one's little. 8, 9, 10, 11. That was hard to count. I'm going to count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make that one a little darker. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So I better have 11 angles as well. Angle 1. I am going to show where I am counting. There's my first angle. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8. I almost missed that one. Angle 9, angle 10, angle 11. That one was really hard. But if you came up with 11 sides and 11 angles, you are really ready to do geometry. Let's count the sides on polygon F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we sure? I better do that again. Where did I start counting? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it's got 10. Better have 10 angles. Angle 1. I'm going to show where I started my counting so I don't get lost. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so I think I got that figured out. So I think I did a really good job of studying those polygons or those shapes before I got started, because now I got to answer these questions. Which shape has the most sides? Well, this little lightning bolt over here that was really driving me crazy is polygon E. That one had 11. Which shape has 3 more angles than shape C? So shape C had 7. I need to have one that has 3 more. Well, that would be not 11, because that would be 4 more. 7 plus 3 would be 10. So it looks like it would be polygon F. 7 angles, 3 more angles would be 10 angles. All right, so this time it says which shape has 3 fewer. This time I got to go with fewer than polygon B. Polygon B had 7 sides. Oh, we're talking sides this time, but sides and angles are the same. And I'm going to have to be 3 fewer. So that's going to give me 3 fewer would be 4. And I think, I did have one that had 4. All right, so I just used a little math to help me with that. So that would be polygon D. Well, this is kind of hard, but if I think about it, oops, I am not doing a very good job of showing you this. I really apologize. Sometimes I move my thing around and forget to look at what I'm doing. I'm so sorry that I made that difficult for you. How many more? There's my important keywords there. How many more angles does shape C have than shape A? Well, shape C has 7. Shape C has 7, and shape A has 3. So how many more? Well, that would be 7 take away 3 gives me 4. Whew. Which of these shapes have the same number of sides as angles? Well, duh, every single one of them had the same number of sides and angles, so I would have to say all. I hope that you did too. Alrighty, so now let's go down and take a look at what happened with cute little Ethan down here. I think what I'm going to do is look at polygon A, and I'm going to count the number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, here we go. I've started counting on that one. So this one has 8 sides. And let's count polygon B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one only has 6 sides. I see where he made his boo-boo. They look like they're the same kind of shape, except this one's bigger. The difference is this one has 8 sides, this one has 6 sides. So he is incorrect. Ethan is incorrect. because polygon A has 8 sides and B has 6 sides. Oh man, I'm sounding pretty smart here. It sounds like I know how to do a little bit of fun geometry. Wow, this has been really fun. Okay, so now you're over to the exit ticket that you need to send to your teacher. Send to your teacher. Yep, she's going to be looking for it. So you're sending your exit ticket. May I strongly encourage that you definitely study these shapes before you try to answer these 4 questions. If you did well here, you're going to do well here. If you struggled over here, don't make those same mistakes when you come over here, because remember, Miss Star is not going to be showing those to you. Now, one more thing I want to throw at you before I leave you today. I am going to pull out my dot paper that I told you that you might want to print some off. If you wanted to show or try a couple of exercises with your ruler where you draw some polygons with 3 sides and 3 angles in this space, and a polygon with 4 sides and 4 angles in this space. Of course, you'd have to make this because you don't have a copy of it. 6 sides and 6 angles in this one, and 5 sides and 5 angles in this one. We are going to be doing this in our face-to-face class, but of course you don't have this page, so you're going to have to just maybe try it on your own. I did tell you that it would be a good idea to have some printed dot paper. I know we at least need it for this lesson. I am not sure for subsequent lessons, but we'll see what happens. And with that, I am going to say have a great day of learning.